Alright folks, a happy Saturday to all. Good morning. It is not going to be a full day of Europa Universalis 5 today, because unfortunately, player resources. They've changed the panels we have down here to video tutorials. Has been shoved in to save space. How to mod begin. What's the player's resources? I want to see. The EU5 wiki reported bug, how to roll back your game version, performance help, tech support, make a suggestion. Official EU5 Discord. Tips for getting started, tutorial diagrams, recommended starting nations, general tips, a list of video guides, community links, modding resources. Cool. General tips. Government. Focusing on crown power and control are two key mechanics to success in EU5. We're trying. High crown power lead to more income directly through trade, indirectly through taxes. Higher crown power increases state satisfaction, which lets you tax the states further. Okay. But we got stuff to do later today. So I'm going to get in some EU5 time as early as I can. I'll give it about 4 hours or so, maybe 5. And then I'll have to vamoose. If we're lucky, today will be the day that we finally grasp the supple bosom of the Renaissance. Look at this guy right over here. We got spears, and I forget what you call the clubs that have the obsidian blades stuck to the sides of them. Muskets, bayonets, and just one priestly dude holding up a cross. On the front lines even. This poor sap over there has got bandages all over his head. He's been wounded, probably critically, and still brought back into the front. I really should turn the debugger off. I don't need it anymore. Now that we're two Sicilies, why am I seeing everybody's armies and productions? Has there been another patch that has somehow broken the fog of war? I shouldn't see all this. I promise I haven't messed with anything else. As soon as I finished stream last night, I turned this off, turned on Let's School, started building up my flying school more. Let me see what the Reddit has to say. I can't imagine that a patch has disabled the fog of war somehow. Any canonical reason why the Renaissance avoids Hungary so much? Mood, they've been avoiding southern Italy too. Don't be misled, belligerent actually increases your antagonism. Really? You may be like me, look at belligerent going, wow, this makes me take things at peace, create claims faster, and reduce antagonism, sign me up, except it makes antagonism worse, though not by much in many cases. Huh. Belligerent modifier to antagonism seems great on glance, actually only affects antagonism from other people taking your land. Your antagonism from taking other people's land actually becomes higher, and can be significantly higher, or doesn't matter much, by going belligerent due to how much worse diplomatic reputation is. By how much it's been complicated, go to write a guide on antagonism management if that's interesting to folks. So, I'm not seeing anything on Reddit right now about why the fog seems to be completely off upon reloading the game today and seeing everybody's armies, everybody's movements. Everybody's productions if I zoom in. Like I said, I swear I haven't touched anything. The debugger is on, but the debugger's been on for the past couple of days, and we didn't have this effect. What if I go world map and then go back in? It makes sense to see those next to me. It makes less sense. Their armies, there's a bit of an ocean. Yeah. That is so bizarre. I might gonna have to do another troubleshooting stream. Cause, I don't gotta see what's under everybody's skirts. I don't really care about that. Okay, hold on. I guess... If I don't see anything on the subreddit, then I could assume that this isn't a new patch thing. What if I go to the Steam Discovery Forum? Discovery Forum? Steam Discussion Forum. EU5. Mostly the same chuds talking about, oh, there's never been this or that. I can't believe there's this or that. What the hell is happening in this game? But it's about their political situation. Huh. So why am I seeing... Alright. Is there a console command to turn on the fog? There's a remove fog of war option, which I promise you never used. Toggles the cheat mode, remove fog of war. But how do I... Okay, there's only, as far as I can see, a console command for removing, but not for re-enabling. This is weird. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Is there anything on the little GUI buttons of the console for... map menu, maybe? I love the pink or fuchsia on gray. Show on-off fog of war. See, fog of war dot enable disabled. Whoops, what I just pressed this. That does GUI clear widgets map debug menu. Clear dummy widgets, the wiki says that does. I have no idea what that means. As we can see, we could still see everybody, which isn't correct. Fog of War, enable, enable. I keep wanting... But you could still see him as a thing. I don't think I should be able to see all this. So why could I see what everyone's building, where everyone's armies are? according to the console, we disabled the fog of war, then re-enabled it, so it was already enabled. Maybe if I... Okay. So it was being weird, and for whatever reason, it just had everybody visible until I do a day or two. Doing a quick reload because I don't want to be sullied by having turned off the fog of war to turn on the fog of war. Let me in. Let me in. Very bizarre little visual thing, but then the game isn't a stranger to bizarre visual things so far. See, now I load back in, and everyone is back to hiding. That's how it should have been, so I don't know why. Just that time. It was being odd about it. So, we can embrace a renaissance because it is spread to 24.62% of the country. It took a lot of work to do it, building up a whole bunch of libraries, but there it is, some healthy greens, some sickly yellows, and very few dark scabbies. So we're gonna get it before France, at least. Even if Bohemia, the asshole, somehow got it first. And by first I mean before me. It got to Bohemia over all that band of ignorance before it just went down the coast down Italy. What the heck, Mang? Now we do have 620 bucks because we used a favor from Hungary to take a whole bunch of their gold. Thank you, Hungary, for constantly building up favors with me because they want me to join their wars by force of favor. But favors are mutual, so every time they do it, I could ask them for money. Okay, we cannot do it again until 1397, so every 10 years, we get to use our favors to pull in a whole buttload of cash. Now, while we can embrace Renaissance, which is something I want to do, 24.62% spread means it costs a whole 572 bucks, which I don't mind spending if it means that I get to finally get an extra government reform, or more importantly, an extra cabinet seat, and some easy, accessible ways of getting crown power, and then university for more cool stuff. And then we could curtail the rights of the nobility to reduce some of their power and officially block them from cabinet. Look at that. As Naples or the two Sicilies, we could increase max literacy across the board. There's so many things inside Renaissance, specifically for the two Sicilies and Naples. Crown power, max literacy. What else has the icon on it? Just those two? That's still two things specifically for us. None of the other trees have anything for Naples or the two Sicilies. It's made for me, and we have to work so hard to get it last. So, I'm not going to put this 500 gold, 572 gold, to embracing Renaissance, because that also costs 62 stability right now. And 62 stability right now would destroy me. I already went into, what was it, negative 11, negative 12 once, to remove some of the powers of the nobility. That was -10, -11. That was 1 year of maximizing out stability reinforcement. I'm not gonna go into the -30s. So what to do with all this fat cash? I could try building more roads everywhere. If I build more roads everywhere, Palmy. Proximity of Palmy to the nearest source is 0.18%. It took building a whole network of roads around Calabria and then interweaving them with each other. But we finally have Palmy in the positive. Only 85 months to get the remaining laborer promotions. Control set at 14 though. But proximity helps control. And so it's not going to be penalized so much anymore. Has a following effect. Max control plus 11%. Maximum control plus 11%. It's gonna be monthly change 0.55 towards a max of 14.48 now. Maximum control of 14.48. Integration status and pop satisfaction also play a role. The pop should be satisfied, the integration should be maxed out anyway, so it's all down to proximity. Stationing an army in the province can also increase control of a location. Of a location, though. Okay, we got roads coming here, roads going there, roads going up, so all this is connected. We got roads all around. Roads connect here. Roads don't connect there or here. I figure maybe if I put more roads that connect to each other, then maybe we could have like an inflow of proximity bleeding down. 5.42, 38, 38, 38, 38, and then 15, 15. So maybe if I unclog some of these mustards and ochres, then that'll be more mustard bleeding down this way. And then how would I do that? We got connecting going here, connecting going there. Should I build it? It already goes to there, Sant'Arcangelo. So that already connects, this already connects. And then that connects there, but not crosswise that way. But not crosswise that way, not crosswise this way. Maybe it doesn't matter, but in my head, if these become a bit more yellow, then that's going to become a bit more yellow, and that's going to become a bit more yellow, and that's going to become a bit more orange. There's naval proximity. Maritime presence, I mean. 38. 38. 59. 41 to Sicily. 62. 30 and dropping. 36. What if I made it a town in Palmy? Costs $400 and takes a year. Cost of inflation makes it slightly more expensive. Market price impact on ducats. Glass, masonry, lumber. Okay. Okay. I want to make Palmy a city, though. They make lumber here. Doesn't cities reduce the size of RGOs? Or am I thinking of... Because you got out of 12 here. They can make 12 wine in the capital. In Salerno, they can make 6 medicaments. Where's a town? Melfi? Melfi can make 4 wines maximum. Matera can make 4 olives maximum. Tarde 2 cotton. 5 cotton. Max level is 10 due to base value of location, population location, development, average literacy, rural settlement location rank, plus 100%. So it's doubled in rural settlements. In a town, I don't see a penalty for towns, but I don't see the plus 100% for rural settlement. Population, development, literacy, farmland, vegetation, mills. So, I don't want Palmy to become a town because lumber is a thing that I tend to be desperate for. I would have to pick some place that doesn't have, like, Nicastro be a bad option, because Nicastro is one of my few sources of iron. And so I want the rural settlement location rank plus 100%. We have a city in Cosenza. We've already got a city in Cantizaro, though. Reggio Calabria does cotton. But I feel like maybe if I had one down south here, it would help with proximity. There's also things I could make to create more proximity, isn't there? Zone of control, 4th level. Would it be under... Noble buildings, Cosenza, nothing. What if I just go to production first? And see what different buildings I got. Castle, 4th level, zone of control. Proximity force and local noble power. If I build bailiffs places. So bailiffs can increase my local proximity source. It employs, is that laborers? Sergeant's crown power, recruit regiments, docks. We got docks now. Harbor capacity. Reduces the cost from going sea to land and vice versa. In proximity and trade calculations. Mainly depends on its natural harbor suitability, but many port-related buildings can also increase it greatly. So harbor capacity could help impact my proximity, and thus my control. Wharf harbor capacity. I got wharfs in places already, don't I? I got wharfs all over the place that slowly increase my harbor capacity. Naval supply guilds make naval supplies. Naval supply guild can go from unprofitable to breaking even. Literacy, literacy. Clerical buildings, we got scriptoriums everywhere. Temples to be maximum control, 5%. Maximum control, 5%. Cannot build in a rural settlement. Damn it! And it can only make one maximum. So, most towns already got it. Salerno is right next to the capital anyway. University we can't do yet. Can we? Literacy for nobles. Pop promotion, migration attraction, institution growth 33%. We have one in Naples, but we don't have the university advance. It's a lost knowledge. We built one university in the before times, and then forgot how to do it. Fiber crop farms to make hemp. Fruit orchard to make fruit out of lumber. Mason makes masonry. Lumber mill turns tools into lumber. I've only got a very few sources of lumber, but I could turn tools directly into lumber with a lumber mill. Lumber into tar, tools and lumber into sand. Charcoal kiln. We can make coal. We have a balance of coal and a small stockpile. I kinda like the idea of making my own lumber mills to turn tools into lumber. And my tool makers have historically not been the most profitable. So if I make another need for tools that at the same time also gives me lumber, then I'm going to be very happy. What? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Is this not the menu to click a thing and then move around trying to make it places? Oh, Cosenza. I'll sell in Cosenza. Ah, whatever. It's only 50. Those laborers, right? That was what I wanted, to look at this menu. They're lucky they got one freebie. But they got lots of population around Napoli. Lots of population and lots of control. So I want to build it around here first. How many peasants do we have to promote? Peasants to promote 51,000. Peasants to promote 14,000. Hey, 51,000 peasants? They got 51,000 peasants I could put to work. 24,000. 45. My goodness. My lack of exploitation. And we're not in want for lumber to make the lumber mills right now. I don't know if that's going to make me wood independent, but it should be a good start. Wild game and a little bit of Genoa here. If I built more roads going out, that might pull it more back into ours. Unprofitable buildings in Napoli. Who's suffering? Naval Supply Guild. Glass Guild somehow. Farming villages, potter, sheeps. Too many people that shouldn't be unprofitable. But hey, the toolmakers guilds aren't unprofitable right now. Naval Supply Guild. What if I were to be under the docks? Burgers? Because we have docks now. Soldiery? Dock. Dock requires naval supplies. Tools, lumber. So if I build more docks places, then that'll be a need for naval supplies. And if there's more of a need for naval supplies and more people will be hired for naval supplies and the building will become profitable again. Oh, that's all my money so far? I guess I'm building more docks after all. Now we do have Casus Belli on Bologna. That we have 3 more years. 3 more years to use. They dislike me. They have too many allies. Even Genoa joins in with them. What I want to do is occupy Cesena, occupy Bologna, and then try to eliminate them entirely. And then hopefully absorb their vassals with them. With the efforts of the Rome and Italy, the trade with the region is flourishing, the burghers are very happy. I should hope so. 20 trade advantage in Napoli for 5 years. Cool. But burghers still unhappy. Putting towards 50. Towards 71. Towards 43. Towards 52. How's my power right now? 30 to 36. France, we got up to 145. Filippo Angio has died of 58, Admiral of the 5th Navy. Alright, who has a little crown icon and wants to do some Navy stuff for a while? Robert? That's my grandson, right? Second cousin, no. Okay, Robert, you can have a boat to squeeze in a little bit more power. What has Venice got going on here? Who are you going to war with? I don't see a war on Venice. Wait, I'm dumb. I'm not used to seeing 2 wars on Venice. Bulgarian-Ragusan war is still ongoing, and Venice is joined in on that. Serbian-Ragusan war. So poor little Dubrovnik there is getting bullied by 2 powers, while Bulgaria ate shit. They're my rivals, so I joined them just to take northern Epirus and give it to Albania. Serbia could just march on down. And we don't have an ongoing rivalry with Serbia. Schism. It's only me and the Pope together. And yet, we got more support now. But how's the 97.7 until hitting a Papal State Council vote thing to maximize out? 93.4 for Paris. $114 gold. Let me see about building more docks. It's drawing out from the capital to get here. If I put more stuff around there, it very slightly increases... What is it? Harbor capacity. Where's my natural harbors? Harbor capacity. Natural harbor suitability. Mostly there. A little bit up the coast here. Then, what was I under? Harbor capacity. We've expanded beyond the natural harbors, and natural harbor just gives a nice boost. So maybe we could put Reggio di Calabria to hopefully... I mean, the maritime presence is already pretty high here. Maybe it'll help a bit more? But it's a rural settlement, we got one going over here that should help there. So docks I don't think are going to help immensely then. So what else should I devote my cash to? Could I build more library to get the institution to spread faster? We got plenty up the middle, and that's a lot of where the yellowing is. Let's build some here as well to help spread into Sicily proper. You see that? We're not seeing any. We don't have enough books. We don't have enough books. All of our scriptoriums paying off. Over a year for the dock. And then library in Messina afterwards. I should have built elsewhere then. Because that has to wait for over a year and then another year for the, another year for the library. I got professional armies to give army maintenance. What happened to my throat all of a sudden? France, what you got going on? You got French-English War, but not the 100-Year War, just a French-English War they got going on. And Aragon has chosen which side? Aragon has chosen the side of England. Triumph of the Guelphs. They have finally achieved total dominance over the Ghibellines and freed Italy from the tyranny of the Holy Roman Empire. We'll now be able to enjoy our newfound freedom without a foreign and disconnected overlord. Great news. Every country with a capital in the region of Italy will leave the Holy Roman Empire and move every location they own from it. But it can't remove Bohemia from all these little scattered shits they've made all over the wall. That's okay. In future versions of EU5, you won't have to worry so much about the Holy Roman Emperor just being able to take as much land as they want from anyone they want without consequence. Without the ability for them to say no. Guelphs disbanded. Ended the Guelphs of the Ghibellines. The Papal States decide at least some peace returns to Italy. At long last, a conflict between the two rivaling factions of Guelphs and Ghibellines in Italy has found its end. Despite the best efforts of the Ghibellines, the cheaters, and I do mean cheaters since a few things of theirs is getting patched. Maybe Paradox and I have disagreement about whether or not Bohemia should be allowed to join in if their capital isn't inside Italy. But the fact that they have look at this, look at this. Where's their tax base? Power projection. There, 419, right? Look at that infinite upwards graph. Man. You gotta practically own the entirety of Italy to keep up with that. And the time it takes to do that while constantly fight against the HRE anyway, because they're gonna join every war to flip a faction, since they own most of northern Italy. It's a mathematical impossibility. But at least when the patch comes out, they will be a little bit hindered and just taking land from everyone because of how the cores are going to change a little bit, then even with Bohemia in, it'll go from mathematical impossibility in future patches to merely a challenge. Merely a challenge, which is what it needs to be. Merely a challenge. Instead of the more you try to climb the mountain, the bigger the mountain gets. No joke. Bohemia alone carries the Ghibellians. Combined political and economic strength of the Guelphs bested their ambitions, managed to gain dominance in Italy, with just a little bit of that Italian cunning. And so now I want to go to war with Verona, with Brescia, with Milan, and so on. I only have to worry about their own allies, not 54,000 now. Well, it's mostly 14,000. 14,000 Bohemians. And then 6,000 Moravians. And then 46 vassals that each contribute an extra combined 10,000, 15,000, all converging at once like maggots on a piece of meat. Pisa's still unhappy. We're working on them. Their happiness is higher. Plus 28. Current opinion plus 28 due to. Okay, Napoli market. Building needs, population needs. Is only Peppa. I'm gonna get more Peppa. And since the Guelph and Ghibelline thing is done, that means we no longer have sanction of the papacy. Which means all of our profits are going to become all that much more profitable. Look at that! 51.28! We get to make actual money now that we aren't constantly sanctioning back and forth. We get to actually make money! 6.48, 3, 2? A few in the negatives here. But not so much from the sanctioning of the papacy anymore. Firearms. They got firearms in Paris. I should think about things I need, though, first. Because my people always need sturdy grains. Sturdy grains is forever going to be a need. .55. General missing wild game. Could I simply build something for wild game in Assisi? A peasant village, perhaps? We just do irrigation. Local food production, local population capacity. Though, forest village would have given furs anyway, not wild game. Dare I look and see how my rebels are doing? 92%. 0.23. It's only 2,120 pops supporting the nobility insurgents. A pops is a group of people. This is when a country decides to offer assistance to a group of rebels in a different country. 10 locations they're in. Local unrest. Lack of pop needs. Well, local unrest around here was in many parts a factor of conquered. The conquered minus 50% is overshadowing every inch of green. But we got satisfaction to 1.21%. We actually have satisfaction in the positive. So imagine it'd be at 51.21 if they weren't conquered. Pop satisfaction below 12.54. Even if I gave them all the pearls, peppers, and sturdy grains in the world, that would only bring them up to 6.81. So, it's all down to try to integrate the province faster. We're up to 39%, 0.78, 34%, 0.76. So we're not going to outpace it, but we are making progress. Build more docks. Oh, Genoa market. Bah. Tunis market, we could do a couple. We could do a couple in the Tunis market. Rochefort. Maybe 71 here. Tools. We got plenty of tools. Supply is outpacing demand. Masonry, because of our investments, we got a bit more going that way. Naval supplies. Supply and demand are about even. Well, then they gotta start hiring people. We have lots of naval supply shops. But because they were unprofitable for a while, they keep on going into the negative. We at least have a stockpile of supplies. Look at that, look at that. I've got my inflation to minus 0.1 a month, and we're still making 51. This is how much money we would make when maxing out minting. Buying food, buildings, libraries are taking up cash. But they're supposed to, they're a service, they don't make money. A new heresy has appeared in Christianity. Clearly these are people who do not understand that the only true faith is Catholicism. Law lords. They get max literacy, extra peasant power, worse clergy power. A reformist movement advocating for universal priesthood, rejecting the necessity of sacraments like baptism and confession for salvation. Direct access to God through scripture. Yeah, but we could look at most American cults and evangelicals of the past couple hundred years, and we see that we put all the power of, oh, let me just have my personal relationship. Then it very quickly becomes, well, us millions decided our personal relationship is we get to hate queers and black people, and that the purest expression of faith is how rich you are. Yeehaw! So maybe there's a little bit of something to having a hierarchy, keeping the standards after all. It might not be for the best, but you see what the people get up to when you leave them to their own devices? Bundies and their devices. Okay, let's put... What I don't need it so much. The extra sailors I'll get will be extra nice. I think that's as many docks as I'll build for now. I should focus on the other needs. Johann Frederick reached the age of 16. Great nephew. Who's your papa? Frederick and Violant de Barcelona? Noble faction. We could make him join an order of chivalry. Okay, Luigi, you've joined an order of chivalry. Your Roberto's only 12 years old. We'll make him join. Look at beautiful, beautiful prodigy Luigi. Prodigy with an expensive education. We got golds all around, baby. 72, 78, 77. How do I disinherit Luigi and let Roberto be my direct heir? Luigi's alright. He's done his job. He's a suitable cabinet member. He's married, so I can't make him take the vows. I'll lose legitimacy. Not crown prince. Ah. If I banish him... No, he's a crown prince and he's of my dynasty. Look at him, though. Look at beautiful Roberto. I'm so proud of my grandson. Child of mine. What I should do... How do I do, like, what Albania has, and make their king one of my kids? If I create... Could I create a vassal? And make Roberto the king of it, and then that way he'll start picking up all these sexy ruler traits that take time to develop? Malevolent, whatever. Indulgent, damn. And then industrious by the end. Whereas Luigi, he's picked up Battlefield Medic because he's done a few battles. But he hasn't got any ruler traits, and I don't think that he'll populate 3 immediately upon taking the throne. I think he'll still have to wait the however many years to unlock 1, 2, 3. So, he's not very due to get ruler traits. You know, I'm so glad that my eyeballs don't gravitate to the giant purple box, because there's some information in there, like his life expectancy, that I don't want to look at. That I don't want to know about. I really should just disable the debugger. Yihan, we'll have you marry Margarita Rocci, who does have some pretty nice diplomacy. Happy birthday, here's a wife. Jewelers Guild, unprofitable. Distillers Guild. Tool guilds are somehow unprofitable in the Napoli market. How come? Because they're trying to do copper and tin to make part of a tool. You goof. You absolute buffoons. We have stone, we have iron, and iron is profitable. Do I just gotta go through and... Do I just gotta go through all of my buildings? Maybe I do. This brewery is trying to turn fruits, wood, and tools into less profitable fruits when wheat is right there. We got wheat. Sometimes these buildings automatically choose the most bizarre option. Like, my fishing villages here. I took a look, like, why are they so unprofitable in Salemi? What do they want? They don't have enough ivory? They're trying to do Arctic fishing village. What do you mean Arctic fishing village? They could make, they could produce, they could use tools to make their fishing hooks and weights and all that. And they want to carve fishing hooks out of ivory. No, swap that over. So, I don't understand the logic that gets into their heads sometimes. Accessing lumber, coal, and tools to make weapons is not profitable, but it's more profitable than lumber and stone to make tools. So I guess I'll keep them there. They're just... It's probably... Let's see, tools are cheap enough, we have a decent surplus. Coal is probably pricier, since we have a balance of supply and demand and not too much surplus. Lumber at a deficit of. And so even though we have a surplus of lumber, the demand is outpacing supply, so that's probably being too expensive for weaponsmiths right now. Though we could increase the demand for weapons, and that'll probably give them a little bit of an edge. Glass Guild. Potter's Guild. It could be lumber and tools holding them back, since lumber has been something that I haven't done too well of. Farming Village. Is it clay or tools that we're suffering here? We got a stockpile of clay. We got a lot of tools, so maybe just build more clay to make it cheaper? Farming villages, fishing villages, you better not say. Okay, they're not being dumb and choosing Arctic fishing village. Got plenty tools. We got plenty salt. So what's the problem? Is fish not expensive enough? We got lots of fish. Is that the problem? We got so much fish that nobody wants to sell it? Nobody wants to do subsistence fishing? France, will you accept alliance? France will not? No, they're minus 12.62. If I were to boost inflation now, it used to be that we get like 51 after maxing out minting. Now that we're not getting sanctioned all the time by Bohemia, and our trades could actually be profitable. 86! 86 if I shoot it to the moon! For now though, I don't think I've assigned a head of cabinet. How much is that to make my beautiful daughter? 309! 309 to promote to head of cabinet. Base cost 300. 300? That's the base cost now? Scaled. My economy's too good. I should have made her head of cabinet when things are still shit. What could I buy for 60 right now, though? Could I get more dock going? Dock would be 100. So no. What about... I could put more scriptoriums. Scriptoriums are still pretty profitable. Maybe put some more of those... What was it? Laborers? For lumber mill? Convert tools to lumber? We could also do clay pit, convert lumber to clay. But we also have clay. We have one source of clay over here. Another up by Assisi. Some down over there. They're within the Napoli market, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. No. No, Tunisia! Tunis is digging further into me. They're absorbing more of my Sicilian island. That's on me for neglecting the whole market aspect of it. We got plenty of peasants. And control here is at 59%, so it wouldn't be as long to convert people. We got loads of peasants to promote. Okay, so markets would help with trade advantage and capacity to owner, right? It looks like I'm at maximum markets that I can't... No, it's about the price. And I can't build over here anyway because it can't be built in a rural settlement. Scriptorium built. We got docks going, roads going. Lumber mills going. Efforts of Rome, burgers are happier. More trade advantage. We got stacking trade advantage for 5 years. Got a trade advantage, pull me over. $96 monies. Marketplaces in Tunis market aren't unprofitable. Jewelers Guild is. Their enhancements can make things more profitable. They're using a cheaper option for the base production method. They do have a surplus of silver. But not so much a surplus of gem. It's only a current profit of 0.04, so more gems there would help. Marketplace. Trade advantage. How much trading advantage the owner gets from the location. Ah, okay. What is trade advantage? Advantage of a country in a market determines who will be able to get their exports fulfilled first. If there's a limited amount of supply of goods in a market, they get distributed by trade advantage that each country has in that market. Okay. What about... We've also got... Let's see, market warehouse also gives trade advantage, but a small decimal. Overseas trading post gives 0.2 trade advantage. What if I built some over in Tunis, since they keep wanting to draw some away from me? Will that help with my pool, or would that just help with like getting preferential pricing and maintenance of my trade in this zone? We got marketplaces all over Napoli. And we could build more. Am I just throwing money away? Trade offices, maritime presence, trade advantage, trade capacity. The best places to build is in Zliten, Kums, and Torugia. Libyan. So down there? What if I put one down? We got Tunis over there. If we put it right next door to Tunis. Promote their peasants to work for me. I could. Let's see if this actually helps or if it's just a fever dream. We got roads going this way, road stops over there. It's not so far away, that proximity, is it? Tunis? Yeah, they got decent proximity coming down. And they got decent proximity by sea. Let's see if that's actually worthwhile or not. Maybe it is. Maybe it's throwing some money away. I've spent money on worse. Aragon's getting eaten up again. To think they were once my ally. Building and territory blocked. We've signed a treaty to no longer build buildings in the territory of Tunis. Not allowed to build buildings. Anymore, right? I could still build these two? I'm still building these two. Those two are just as much as I get. Alright, I'll take my two then. And so let me see about putting some more marketplaces in Sicily. Since... well, I don't gotta worry about the Dubrovnik market anymore. Market access, 68.55 due to base. Transportation distance to market. Highest market attraction. Tunis is at 80. Market access. Market attraction. Market protection. Reduces the market attraction that foreign markets have on locations, making them more likely to fall under the market of their owner. 1 point of market protection against 1 point of market attraction in every foreign market. Increases mainly with the control of the location. Napoli. Market attraction is at 20%. Market access 50. So they have 9 more market access. 20% attraction, 19% attraction. So there's a -7 for market protection, but they're still doing better because of market access. So I do want to increase control through here more. We have a whole band of 14s, 15s, 14s, 15s. And I guess that's why it's falling over to Tunisia more easily. And this is where proximity is pretty bad, so maybe I should devote more resources to roads in this area if I do want to retain market control here. Our sea zones should squarely fall to us. Kingdom to Sicilies, Kingdom to Sicilies, Kingdom to Sicilies, so maritimely, we're doing all right. $78. Damn. So we just need to put more roads networking across Sicily if I want these resources to be cheaper to send to me and then to the rest of the country than to Tunis and away from me forever. I'll wait for a bit. I feel like putting one to Catania would be a wiser option. We'll go Catania, Messina. Unhappiness among the commoners. Also got some negative growth from our burgers again. 38? Is as high as you want to go now? 38. Really? $51. Conflicts and protests with the commoners over taxes, landlord cruelty, expropriation, serfdom, and custom policies have recently become even more frequent than usual. If we do not manage to solve the problem soon, the consequences for our nation's stability could be dire. Lose 10 estate satisfaction, we rule as we see fit. They're currently at 52, but they also don't have a lot of power. But they also outnumber us. All they have to do... This is why we keep literacy low, right? They have to, Where is it? That's... Yeah. We have to make sure that they don't realize that there's only 10,000 peasants, only 10,000 soldiers, 13,000 nobles, 30,000 clerics, 77,000 burghers, 309,000 laborers that overshadow all the higher echelons of society, and 1.757 million peasants that own this town. Oh, 142 monies? I can't afford 142 monies. Look, I'm trying to improve their situation already, alright? Did anybody ask me to build roads all throughout Sicily when I could be building up armies or whatever else? No. And this is like rural Sicily too, even. This is... Look, that's desolate. They got some barren rocks, 1 hovel, 2 hovel, 3 hovel, and a church. I am spending my treasury to help them out directly. I'm not just going to throw them money and put myself into debt and then pay off the debt. They'll love me in a week. They don't see the roads I'm building all over Naples and Sicily and say that there is Giovanna the road builder. No. They don't call me Giovanna the road builder. They don't say, look at all these scriptoriums and paper mills. Truly, this is Giovanna, queen of the books. No. They don't call me Giovanna the bookmaker. They don't look at all the lumber mills and say, this here is Giovanna the lumber maker. Or the libraries. They don't see the libraries I've built around and say, this is Giovanna, the library maker. Or the fishing villages, and this is Giovanna, the fishing village maker. But you screw one goat. I beg your pardon? Rebellion against Athens. Ionian Islands is rebelling against my vassal? Well, I dare say we should take care of them. It's only one little Ionian island at that. Okay. Let's do... raise levy here. And then raise Navy levy here. We'll just go on a pleasure cruise down to the Ionian Islands. Sip some margaritas. Over on... what you guys got here? In Kefalonia? Margaritas at Kefalonia? More roads, more roads, more roads, more roads. Proximity is only to base 0.00. There's no detriment to it. Catania, despite being further inland, Catania has worse proximity than Cartigiruni. Messina's not too bad, so if you build road here, road there, it should bleed some more proximity in, and thus build more control in. See, our 24, 49. 20s seem to be enough to not be pulled into another market. Though, there are some 20s here that are in Tunisia. But in general, the area has lower control all around, and so I guess it's easy to pull in. If you brought in control in general and proximity in general, then maybe that calculation would make us more attractive. I like how, hey buddy, your vassal's at war, isn't a pop-up saying, hey, you're suddenly involved in a war. It's, you don't notice me? Just gonna sneak on in here between the Western Schism and close to being the target of an international organization. Rebel movements, 94.59%. Excuse me. Okay, embark. And off we go, we're gonna party it up. Who should lead the Navy? Do we have any more royals? Luigi Angio. Not my Luigi, my brother-in-law. Okay, Luigi. Ruthless blockader. And now you're gonna blockade with your troops. How's my inflation looking? I've been overinflating my inflation. 3.47? That's fine. I still say they should choose some other icon for navies with attrition. Maybe they can make a sad boat or something like that, you know? Because every time the skull pops down, I think, holy shit, who's about to die? A skull for navies with attrition. How about a boat with a sad face? Or, you know, like a boat in front of a storm cloud or something. It could be Crusader Kings 3 training me that every time a skull pops down at the top of the screen, that means your ruler's about to die. Or it could just be it's a skull in general. We don't get a skull icon for armies with attrition. Maybe it matters if you have more oceanic expeditions going out across the world, and so you might worry about the state of your expensive fleets you're setting out of parts unknown for your mercantilism needs. But maybe not a skull. I get that it's supposed to be, hey, bad thing, but, you know, so's unhappy estate, so's rebellion, so's a disloyal subject, and they don't have skulls. Sure, the skull icon here for attrition. But that's different. That's attached to the unit, so you can see right away, okay, that's where people starving out. But up on top, that's a different matter entirely. Voted to enact unification of crowns, cool. Monies. We got roads going from Catania to Messina. We got roads going from Catania to Cartigiruni. So how about we build these roads down to Saragossa next? 110? You know, now that we've taken over Sicily, and we're building more roads, doing more infrastructure investments, I bet you that we're gonna dig up the ruins of our Agathoclids that we played back in Imperator Rome. But then again, their remains are all over Italy and the rest of the Mediterranean. %72%. Okay, but they've also got a little bit over here in Zakynthos. This is why my vassals like me. This is why I'm the boss. They get a tiny rebellion. And we just take it over for them in a couple of weeks. A monastery inhabited by our monks has fallen on hard times. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find this kind of womanizing, partying journeyman artist who just spent time in where did we send him to? Was it Spain or Italy? No, it was in Italy that I think we sent him. Yeah, we'll send him a journeyman artist who's a bit too old to be a journeyman. Originally from where? Nuremberg? Spent his time partying it up in Italy or Spain, one of the two. We'll send him over to the monastery to work out the scriptorium for a bit, flirt with the nuns. Flirt with the ladies of town, and then when people start dying or disappearing, and the Baron comes in demanding answers, he's gonna start picking out different monks to scapegoat until some fire happens. He's taken for dead because his own apprentice had a good relationship with him. Instead of running away, he's going to run into the fires to try to save him and end up dying, and it's going to be a stain on his consciousness for the rest of his own life, as he wanders throughout town and the monastery, doing his art in secret as some kind of a ghost. Donate money, lose 72, not our problem. Prosperity in Malta decrease. Malta, how is your prosperity? Prosperity is at 10.14. Prosperity at home. 100% prosperity! Maximum prosperity! Maximum prosperity makes people less happy. Average satisfaction down. Migration attraction. Local monthly development. Population growth and character life expectancy. $72 is a whole lot of money for a monastery on the very fringe of the country. It's not our problem. Prosperity point. Prosperity in the decimal now. What's this color here? Serbia. You take that over from Venice? There, a full 100% war score now. Actually, I don't gotta send these guys back on over. I could just disband and they all go home. 7,281 were returned to their original location. They can get their own way back home. I don't mind how in Crusader Kings 2, if I wanted to disband my levies, I would need to either march them all the way back home or get them onto boats and get them back home first. That never sat unwell with me because it felt to me like a natural consequence of the war campaign. After you finish with your war, you gotta get your guys on back home in an organized way so that everyone gets home as they're supposed to. If you just say, well, thanks for helping out, see you guys later, and they're left to their own devices, then maybe not everyone is going to have the ability to get back home. Maybe they can't afford their way over, maybe they die in the march over. Maybe they decide that the local cuties are better than the harpy they have back home with the screaming kids. And so you only get like half the people back if you don't make the effort of returning them back to their place of origin. But it's convenient where I could just drop them wherever and boom, there they are, 7,000 peasants and everybody else back over around Napoli. Since I have so much here, what I could do, I could claim it for myself, right? It's a revolter and we're not the war leader. Could I get them to pay me stuff? Pay me war reparations? We cannot negotiate a separate peace as an overlord in a subject revolt war. Ah. But it'd be funny if I get my 100% war score here, make them pay me or do whatever else I could get them to do, humiliate them to gain 5 prestige. We could force a royal marriage through war. And you know, get my petty cash, get my extra prestige for humiliating them, deuces, and then Athens has to reconquer it because I've just left and took my occupation with me. $1388. 2 more years? 2 more years to go against Bologna. France doesn't want a line still. Minus 111? What happened? Oh, the 2 sissies at war. Never mind, that's alright. Which means it's down to only 11.41. 11.41 isn't too bad. So are these guys going to complete their war, or are we just stuck here? Maybe I shouldn't have helped out. Maybe they can't do a peace because this is my war score and not theirs, but it should be theirs. So what's holding them? Do they just like being at war longer? Trebizond and Serbia. We're at maximum diplomats. What could I do with my maximum diplomats? We got lots of favors that the Pope owes us. Is a Pope... Pope. I'm not actively building favors with you. How am I just building up more favors with people? Isolate from allies. Break an alliance with another nation. Unable to regain that ally anytime soon. They got so many. They've been forced to annul a treaty with Navarre. because they were on the losing side of that war. So what casus bellis can we create? Anti-piracy, disrupt, excommunicate, and trade conflict. There's never easy options for just getting a conquest casus belli. Ask the Pope to be my vassal, it's only minus 88. The likely target of a coalition is no. Base, different government type, we're at war, different primary culture. Parma is disloyal too now. Pisa's at 46 opinion. Loyalty is at 45.78. Country strength of all vassals versus overlord is at 5. Where's the antagonism right now? Refuse to pay apostolic tax is down to half the penalty it was before, at least. I hear Onyx scratching at my boyfriend's door. That's where Onyx's food is kept because we have to feed the cats separately so they don't eat each other's food. But I don't hear my boyfriend opening up his door to feed the cats. It is after 11. Since BF is neglecting his little kids. Let me quickly feed the cats before we resume. Onyx? Onyx, you're being ignored? Alright, cat's fed. Almost BRB, but I can't not feed them. Malevolent gives it -5. Conciliatory gives 0. As long as they pay their scuddage, they're okay. Maybe I can make one of their allies nice enough that they won't want to attack me. Brescia is at 20 right now. Mantua is at 62. Who else they got? Genoa? Even now that everyone's outside the HRE, we can't just conquer them over for myself. So how's the Pope doing it? Is the Pope just sending out some sick insults and they insult them back? And he's like, gotcha now, fucker? 105. The thing is, I got so many diplomatic actions going on right now. that if I were to send out more, that's going to drop my monthly even more. So how about I don't? I'll just stay at my max. Lumber we're short on. The gravel road to Messina currently stalled. We have a lumber mill finishing in 4 days. Still stalled? So many things require wood. Maybe that should be my sign to build more lumber mills. 0 to 65 maximum profit. That's how much wood is in demand. 148,000 peasants to promote. I don't know. It's also having to wait to promote them. RGO's missing employees. 28 months and the ironworks in Nicastro could finally finish. Buildings with missing employees. Within 3 years to fill this up. 3 years to fill them up. So I could expand the lumber mills we have here. And then in 3 more years, they'll get some more laborers promoted. I should do it around here though, because this has the highest control. And because this has the highest control, they'll promote the fastest. And that's what it comes down to. Where could I get them promoting the fastest to get more lumber? Promotion is plus 16, plus 16, plus 16, plus 23, plus 81, plus 20, plus 32, 12, 12, 10, 10, 16 is alright, 12, 11, 11, 25 in Melfi. 8 plus 8. Plus 25 is pretty good. Sixteen's okay. Plus 81 is super fast. So Napoli will get another one. 23 is also good. 20, 32. Hey, Toasty. Toasty, you finish your lunch? Your 11sies? Do you want to come up, Toasty? No, you don't want to come up? Alright, baby. How's my military looking? 22,000 dudes. Genovese boats are probably going to be a problem. They got traditional galleys. They got galleys. They got 4 galleys currently. So, the gravel road is the only one stalled, because we don't have enough laborers in the lumber mills yet. Age of Renaissance. Oh, would you look at that? We got more green going down the middle. It's only minus 57 stability now. I think what I'll do, it's already dropped by like 10 or so. So building libraries everywhere to get a quicker institution spread has been working well. If I get it to 30 something, and I'll simply drop stability to 0, I'm going to take it. 0 is an okay place to be. You don't get penalized. You just don't get as many benefits. But that's alright. Minus 10.42. Our improved relations is currently plus 43. And we could improve it towards 200 max. Maybe at 200 they'll be willing to do ally. Austria doesn't hate me too badly. Minus 49.3. They have men-at-arms, handgunners, cavalry, Hofnice. Bohemia, we're a fair bit weaker. Imagine if I got Bohemia as an ally. Now that these guys aren't in the HRE. .69 inflation. Let's see. There's no more stalled progress. I guess we have enough laborers now to squeeze out some extra lumber. But not really. Need to promote soldiers for the docks, laborers for lumber mills, laborers for the rural cloth makers. It looks like one road is finished from here to there, but not from there to here. So how does proximity look? 27 minus 1.99 minus 20.8. So it seems like if it's proper peripheral, it's just 0. But then once we have the ability to move stuff in, then it could drop to the negatives. I don't know. Proximity is at not the negatives. 20! 20! So it rose. It straight up rose by 20.82. I thought it was negative. I'm so used to the red areas being in the negatives that I saw the 20.82 and thought, yeah, sure, that makes sense. Negative 20. What do you mean positive 20? Which means control is slowly going to start increasing. Max control, 12.98. Average satisfaction, bringing it down. Core is at 20. Town location, rank, and temple. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Palmy has risen from 12 to 13. It's actually up to 13 now, and has a maximum control of 14.11. Proximity to capital plus 1.15. We don't have a proximity bonus here yet. But we will. We will. With proximity comes control. With control comes market. We got lots of roads built out here, though, so simply putting roads for proximity isn't going to be the end-all. And our overseas trading markets are almost done, too. That'll be a couple of more lumber needs that'll finish. Crisscross. Crisscross. Make a crisscross here or crisscross there. We also don't have a road going down to up here. $199. Roads are so expensive. Let's put a highway this way. We kind of neglected the central band. $67, $109. Groups of alchemists have gathered before the court, desiring funding to expand their research. They came at the worst possible time and just spent all my money. They waited till I spent all my money. Their proto-scientific language, wrapped in mysticism, speaks of great bounty, gold from base metals, a cure to any plague, an elixir of life, and perhaps even the discovery of the Philosopher's Stone. Oh no, we've got Taoists. Of course, court experts advise against funding this group as they have no track record of useful alchemical discoveries. Funding the alchemists will probably lead to some kind of discovery, though it's hard to tell if they'll actually meet their stated research goals. Lead to gold? 354 monies taken away. Cure any disease? 283 monies. Search high and low for the philosopher. 1,000! Fool, you get no money from us. Shift towards traditionalist at the cost of 10 prestige. Sure, turn lead to gold. I'll just go into debt for a bit and pay it off. We'll take a few more months of inflation. And then the loan is gonna pop up soon enough. Taken a loan of 326. I feel like they're basing the loan off the initial debt and not how much money I have at the start of the month. Interest to Bank of Bardi. 457. What kind of storm do we have? Weighted Samstorm again. Man. So building's finished here. Is that enough to pull stuff over? Almost finished with some docks. Diplomats of the Papal States have arrived in our court, summoning representatives of our clergy to attend a council in Rome. Although the legitimacy of the council is already called into question by their opponents, it could be an important milestone in resolving the Western Schism. Gain 10 prestige for attending. Alright, is there anything I can do? We got a resolution to vote on. Yet to vote is all of us. So 0% and 0%. What are we voting on? Are we just voting on yes, no here? Or has a very fact that a council happened, given one score to Rome, and then we go back over to the drawing board to vote for who to support for? Because we have vote and vote. We got support here. So we're not yet to vote on whether we support Rome or Paris. Voting for Papal States, voting for France. So I guess that's all it is. It's no, like, council reform you can vote on now. Just who gets to council, then vote again. Who gets to council, vote again. Maybe I want to know what we're voting for. Loan taken. Everyone's just buying our loans. Ugh, are we that worthless? What if it comes down to Rome versus France? Let's keep supporting the Pope. Gathered 0 support. What am I, chopped liver? 455. Amount of current loans is 3. A state loan, international loan, international loan. So we could pay off. They're all the same. 108, 108, 108. 72 per month. So, let's repay them while I can. Just knock them off as I go. We could also declare bankruptcy. Cost 50 stability, loses 90% crown power. No. No. Absolutely not, no. Inflation is only at 6.43, so it's alright for now. It's not even a 10% increase in price, it's fine. Less than a year for these lumber mills, less than half a year even. Gravel road gonna take more than a year. Docks. Docks and what else? Road, right? No, library in Cephalou. Lumber mill, gravel road, and a gravel road. I thought I could cheat it out, putting one direction, one the other. Lumber mill. Well, for here at least. Nah, I guess for this one I just went, okay, one over, one over. I should have done one from here to there, one from there to here. Then that'd be 2 roads being built, and not one going to the exact same places, have to wait for each other. Alright, pay off loan number 2. We've always paid on time to the Bardies. We'll maintain that relationship. And then that just leaves us Banca Peruzzi to pay off. Let's go ahead and drop our inflation again. At a rate of 0.05 per month. We'll still make 53 monies a month. So in, say, 3-4 months, we'll be able to pay off the debt. Buildings. Libraries unprofitable. Marketplaces. I'm surprised about the marketplaces in Napoli. Marketplaces in Napoli market. But I guess they don't make money directly, do they? They do trade advantage, they do trade capacity, burger trade capacity, but they don't produce things directly. Market building costs. But if everything else is more profitable... If everything else is more... This is like wharfs, temples, cathedrals, alright. As long as it's not the producing things that aren't unprofitable. Like the Potter's Guild, the fishing villages, the glass guilds, the weaponsmiths. If all of my producers are more profitable, then we'd balance out with the buildings. Val di Mazzara keeps buying more and more food. I know they have fishing villages. It might not be profitable fish, but they could eat the fish. It doesn't have to be a profit. Policy of purchasing indulgence laws. Is that what I was voting on? Because I just saw... Vote for Pope, vote not for Pope. If I go to religion, will it show me what doctrines we have now? Purchasing of indulgences. They want unigenitus die filius. Followers are able to purchase indulgences directly from members of the Catholic Church, purchasing forgiveness for sins not yet committed. Well, maybe when Reform Desire gets to 100, then we can make some changes around here. Oh, would you look at that? We're starting to get extra sailors from our docks already at bigger boost than the wharfs and fishing villages were providing. 98.54%. An exceptional year. Last year has seen a fine harvest and an excellent environment for traders and entrepreneurs. This has proven a blessing for our tax base, generating higher income for our kingdom. Benefit the kingdom? 7 extra stability. Stability to transform into embracing the Renaissance. It's currently at 57 stability cost. And a whole lot of gold. 53 stability. We would have to save up a buttload of money. Marketplace impact on ducats for Nepolis is minus 9.91. Paper is a further 9.91. Oh no, colon. 9.91 because of paper. Paper is making the impact cheaper. Traditionalist makes it more expensive. Base cost is 691 scaled. I gotta tank my economy somehow every time I want to buy something expensive. Maybe force fire everyone out of my production buildings. Meritocracy we don't have access to. Where is meritocracy right now, like in the rest of the world? No place. We never heard the meaning of the word meritocracy. Popular in the courts of Imperial China. Take advantage of the benefits, get immediate money. Invest for the future, research progress. I'm going to take immediate money. More stability would be nice, but I'm already only gaining 0.02. If I brought up to 40 to 44, then I might get to the point where I start draining stability. Stability decay is already at minus 0.17. It's by virtue of everything else that we're getting 0.02 at all. So, going for more stability would have drained stability. 37's an alright place to be right now. But now, I get a head start on paying off the last of my loans. And now that no more debt's needed, we could stick on on a rate of minting that drops my inflation by an alright pace. And now that it has been a couple of hours, save my save, show us the pretty world map. Try to get that golden angle. Alright. You enjoy the map, and I'll be back in a bit. "61 years of age is Queen Giovanna. She just keeps on kicking." Alright, break time over. Had to jump back into the game. Royal marriages with Hungary, Aragon, Mason, Lower Bavaria. It's tempting to wonder about, should I turn some of these royal marriages into taking over the throne? Nah. Nah. If we wanted if we wanted to do that, then my aim would be for Aragon. I wouldn't mind becoming a central and western Mediterranean power spanning from Napoli to Sardinia, Corsica to Aragon. And then having that be our state, eventually absorbing Provence. We could just have, who's to say Italy? Who was to say that the state of Italy shouldn't expand from Calabria and Sicily across the peninsula, curve down the mountains, through Marseille, through Aquitaine, and then encompass this attractive slice of Spain? Who is to say that this cannot be Italy? Just because it's not Italy now, doesn't mean it can't be Italy yet. So many monies. Gunpowder researched. Usage of gunpowder on the battlefield. Military tactics. Impacts of military duh! But what is it? Reduces damage taken in combat. Okay. Just tell me that then. We don't need... There are so many things that are two tooltips and they could just be one. What is a thing? The thing is a thing. But what is a thing? Well, here's the definition. Just give me that in the first place. Somebody is getting paid by the word count or by the tooltip, and they wanted to cheat the system a little bit. Okay, we got one more year to take advantage of the casus belli that Bologna gave us. Morally corrupt diplomats of Bohemia have worked towards reducing our influence over the Catholic Church. Insulted us casus belli on Bohemia. And -10 religious influence. Let's look at you later, Bohemia. Closer ties with the House of Gaetani Aquila. Admiral in the Papal States. To bind their family to Anjou, Onorato Gaetani Aquila has proposed that he should marry my Caterina. No. She is my beloved daughter. I do not want her going to somebody else's home. This is a grave insult. Lose to fuck! 20 nobility satisfaction and 7 stability. Get the fuck out of here. Now, when we've arranged royal marriages, their sons have come to me. I assume that for this royal marriage, she'll go out to them if they propose it. So, what if we sent somebody out to us then? And it'll get those fuckers off my back. Somebody who was not set to inherit. Heir to Astarac, Courtier, Duchy of Milan. We can marry a little girl to the heir of Milan. But I don't want that. Heir to Neopatria, Athens, Cominges. Heir to Malaspina. Second cousin in Auxerre. Heir to Holland. Heir. No, not heir. $50, $52, $40. Catalan. So if I marry this guy over to us, 1, people will stop begging. Jaume d'Urgell will come to us, right? Trust towards the Sioux Sicilies. We'll gain a little bit of prestige. Yeah, she's married, and he's come to us. She's still our cabinet member. Alchemists have come back empty-handed, wasting an incredible amount of state funds in a search of delusion. In fear of punishment for their folly, they've escaped to a neighboring country, presumably to ask them for funding too. But this was not an entirely fruitless endeavor. Their workshop was littered with unrelated but otherwise useful research, alongside a large amount of raw goods that were presumably used for alchemical tasks we handed them. We've already repurposed them, even if they may not make up for the cost incurred. 45 gold and silver, 75 iron and lead. Nice, nice. Luigi Angio died of 65. Brother-in-law, a courtier, died of old age. I'm getting to the point where more of my kin are dying. I'm 61 myself. The Sicilian nobles are behind creating a civil war in our country. And they didn't just take the bits up here, they made bits down there too. Ugh, our first civil war! Well, let's go raise some military then. Oh no, they've taken 2,000 armies away from me. Big guns are coming out. Province has decided to intervene in our civil war on behalf of us. Oh yeah. For once, Province is helping out. That's such a rarity. Empty cabinet slots. Oh, they're there? They are there. It's just they can't integrate these if there's war going on there. Okay. We could always integrate down here too. We had every other area around, but now that Benevento's here, we gotta do the rest. 84%. So it seems to be raising on its own. And then what else to do? Province control, assimilate pops, convert pops, stabilize country, legitimacy we can gain. Let's increase province control. Try to get Calabria Ultra up a little bit. Okay, so I don't see war score here. A civil war is a special type of war in which a country is at war, not with another country, but with part of itself. Different from normal wars, there's no occupation locations, but instead, they'll switch controller immediately once they are sieged. So it is in the same annoying style as Imperator Rome. Alright, they don't have too many guys, so we'll send 10,000 up here. And the rest will go for flipping things over in Sicily. So ideally, this shouldn't take too long. We'll march these guys down, because they should have like 2,000 dudes only, which isn't a whole lot, but I don't want this guy caught alone. Alright. Get these guys moving. 3,000, an extra 3,000. I don't see their armies, so we should be safe for now. And now we just occupy. I have one more year until my unpressed Casus Belli on Bologna expires, so I want to get this cleared out ASAP. Instructing what? Raise army levy. They're trying to raise army levy over there. Oh damn, that took the whole province? That's not too bad then. That's not too bad at all. So aim for the cities. Starving provinces, Campania. Non-integrated province, Campania. Trouble is, we have a castle there I should have deleted first. Battle for Palestrina, we won. 849 dead. My disgusting, revolting nobles. And who do we have over here? That'd be the most of them then. Noble against noble. Cut them down, Capitano Andrea. They're marching over this way? Fine, if Capitano Andrea's not gonna do it, Capitano Avellino Bianchi? Have the burgers cut down some nobles? They're going for Murica? Yeah. Unused trade capacity. Building government population needs. Surely our population still needs stuff. Sturdy grains, peppers, and pearls are a constant. So we could do more sturdy grains from Paris. Gems. Some gems, some pearls. Pearls from Praha. Salt from Bordeaux. Stockpile in. Is it our stockpile or theirs? Our stockpile looks like. Get more dyes in. Get more silver. Would you look at that? They raised up 180 little babies. Where are they trying to go? To Città Ducale. So they are going over here. And now the cowards are moving. Sicilian nobles have lost 182 killed where? Up there. Destroyed them. And they got 2 little baby boats. Only killed 439. That's nothing. Mondovi has decided to intervene. That's one of my vassals, right? One of my personal unions? Yeah. But they got... I appreciate them wanting to... They got handgunners, which is cool. And now the entire of Sicily falls under my control. What have they got? Transport ships. Okay. 34 transports against 2 transports. Prato is joining. See, now that we've kicked their ass and are winning, now they're like, hey boss, we want to help you out. They're still moving. They go into Mazzara or to Trapani in their retreat. Can call ally. I'm gonna win on Hungary. Now that it's been another 10 years, right? Ask for money not until the 1st of May. Oh, 97. I saw the 9, I thought, yeah, it's funny time, we could do another call for money. We'll arrive in Trapani. We've got to reach it already. What a worthless castle. Only killed 40 of them. So we'll see where they end up at. Fishers versus Fishers, and somehow they're winning. Are they cogs? What kind of boats do they have here? Fishing boat. Fishing boat versus fishing boat. How do they have more morale? How are 2 fishing boats beating 40 fishing boats? Fine, send the 7th Navy. Some actual galleys. 600 slaughtered? Okay, that's it. That's all their armies. They can't raise anything else here now. I don't like how much our own morale is dropping. Fishing boat versus fishing boat. Battle for the Gulf, we won. It just took more of a struggle. Literally just 2 fishing boats. Fishing boats. Oh, fighting transports. No, fighting heavy warships. It's saying who was fighting. Fighting, lost, and then remain. Yeah, just transport. 44 transports against 2 transports. And they did so well until we brought proper galleys in. Okay, return this to your properly scheduled... No, I'm just gonna hang them all together. The boats aren't damaged. They were just shouting at each other until morale got low. Yeah, put them here. Supply shortage, doing pretty good right now. 49.77. 39.0 run spread. It's getting better. It's spreading really good. Look at all that green. That green. That green. The library plan worked. We just need 19 drop in the stability cost. Jean-Frédéric reached the age of 16, ruler's great niece. Damn! Damn! 96, 75, 100. Oh, when we get our third cabinet slot, you bet your ass who's going to be the third cabinet member. She's good at everything. As a cabinet member, even outside the bonuses for diplomatic action, 96, 75, 100, extra crown power, higher advisor cost, building cost, proximity cost, crown power and proximity from near max administration, estate satisfaction equilibrium better, diplomatic reputation and capacity, peace offer fairness, negotiation power, is decimals, but it helps. Morale and navy an extra 10%. Jean-Frédéric, we're gonna have a cabinet full of women, and our nation is going to benefit from it. An extra prodigy. Okay, we'll marry you one off to Capitano Andrea. Capitano Andrea would make a worthwhile husband. Province comes in, it's like, oh, you guys got this? Alright, we'll head on home then. What's Aragon fighting here now? Aragon. Aragonese, Sienese War, started by Aragon 4 years ago. I should have made them a rival so I could intervene in wars against them. And then just use that as an excuse to strip more land away. Campania's nearly fully integrated. Status quo. The ugliest 2 words in the game. The only bit left is here. We have less than a year to use my Casus Belli on Bologna. And this war is not going to end anytime soon. This is levies. Next to a hostile army cannot be disbanded. They lost their boats, they got no more navy. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll drop everyone except for a token force, and then save everyone else to go against Bologna. Because boy howdy, am I gonna need it. Increase control, but switch you on over to integration, jubilation. Look at how we've come so far. 40%. All this money. So let me see. I got lots of good buildings. Lots of good buildings that take up money. So what I need to do is make more money-making buildings. So the balance of supporting these buildings isn't such a detriment to my economy. Max noble tax. They're at 77. How are they at 77? Equilibrium for Patricia 4. Towards 55. There. Get a bit more pennies out. Legitimacy gives more crown power. But it's not a major drop from 10 to 7 to the calculation. Let's see, how many defenders are left? 228 defenders. We could order the assault. Instead, what we'll do is our bigger armies will go back. $16,000 at home, 1,800 away. $21,000 total levies. Combined power of 25. Bologna's no match for us, but the trouble with Bologna is that they have a whole lot of friends who combined just might be. Brescia, Genoa, Mantua, Pavia, Lucca, and Bamberg. Second cousin, Ennio Rocci, has okay stats. Caterina Zaccaria. We don't have any, You're unmarried? You got 2 kids? Where'd they come from? Well, Caterina, you got a second husband then. Spoleto when integrated like a commander. Pops with needs. Orthodox zealots at 39%. Now, what I want to spend the rest of this on. Control's 30 here, and when control is 30, then the time to build in more laborers is only at 57 months. Oh, it's almost 1 o'clock. I misjudged the time. Hold on. I don't see any text about the coming on going yet. Should be home by 11 from hiking, so maybe 1 o'clock, okay. Let me know when you guys are coming up. Send. Like I said, this is a short stream. Which is fine, we're still making some good progress. 42% from spread. We dropped by 7 already. We're dropping cost of money and stability so fast. Naval supplies. Glass Guild surprises me too. Is beer really not that profitable? Let me see. I could try building more buildings. Scriptoriums, if I sort by profitability. Tailor's Guild is actually really profitable right now. Lumber Mill remain to be. Jeweler's Guild is pretty nice too. We got lots of gold and silver. Distillers is a use of glass into liquor. Carpenter's Guild makes furniture. Paper Guild is also pretty nice. That requires 200 burgers. We have 400 here. Always be needing more paper. Buildings in queue. Now let's try those Tailor's Guild to turn cloth into fine cloth. Silk into fine cloth too. Available burgers, I need 200. There's all your burgers. Burgers taken up. Get more fine cloth coming in here. Already queued up. Already queued up. Not queued up over here. Let's make some fine cloth down in Calabria. And then Jeweler's Guild looks pretty good too. Jeweler's Guild in the capital. Sicilian jewelry. They got so many burgers in Messina. Sells for 3.17 in Messina. The required goods cost 2.75. Gem enhancements. Sell for 3.17. Required goods is 0.31. Maybe not so far afield right down then. Wish you would say with the Well, it does tell me where the best place to put would be, if I hover over it. Napoli, Messina, Salerno. Okay. Napoli, Salerno, Messina. Unraised levies is good, though. Can I declare war if my army's up? Cannot start a war, levies are raised. So, I gotta finish this up before May. That's only a few months then. We have one breach on the walls. They got 205 defenders. We could try sieging it. Or assaulting the siege, I mean. We could try assaulting into the breach. They'll kill a lot of us. Defenders desert 189. It says we're likely to fail, but it said that last time too. One thousand, 1,000, 1,000. I'm going to try assaulting it. I want to finish it before May, which I need to do. Our position in the Western Schism created popular outcry in parts of the country. People of Salano started to arm themselves and demanded we support the faction of Paris instead. Currently, we support the Pope. Well, now it says 0 support, 0 support. We gain control in Solano. Kingdom of France gains 40 opinion. Okay, but you know what? That didn't actually change anything. Offer alliance. 102. They're at, oh man, they're at 200 opinion. They're at 200 opinion, and the at war brings them, if the at war was gone, it'd be 100. No, it'd be 2.66. Either way, we won't be able to bring them into war with Bologna. It would take too long to build up the diplomats. 1/10 chance of winning. And that's it. That's it. Victory over the rebels. The Sicilian nobles are no more. Marks the end of the Civil War. They still enjoy power over us, though. Commoners dropping towards 47. Let's drop your tax a little bit. Until the bare minimum possible required for happiness. $23 from diplomacy. So my vassals are counteracting the building costs. My payments are counteracting the buying food. Movement can't be disbanded. Wouldn't be embarrassing if they were moving like on May 1st and I wasn't able to disband them until May 2nd, right in time for the Casus Belli to expire. Oh, there's a knock on the door. They didn't text me. Well, I guess that's gonna be it for stream now because they didn't text me on the way up. So, I'm gonna quickly call it here. At the end of one war and the start of another. No time to raid, so I'm just gonna toss on Gin, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Tomorrow 輝こう強く